We have Simo in Canada, pronouns are he, him, who wants to talk about determinism and free will, unless what we just said already addressed Simo's point. How you doing?
Hi, Matt. I'm good. What about you? Hi, Genevieve.
Hi.
I'm all right. Did what we say address your point in some way?
I just want to make sure that I understood what you're saying. So basically, you hold the position of compatibilists and not hardcore determinists, basically, or?
No. So compatibilism is the notion that determinism and free will are not in conflict. And I accept that with that particular definition of free will. Under a normative definition of free will, I don't claim that we have it. I just claim that I have will. I have no idea how free it is or isn't.
Makes sense. Okay, so I think I hold the same position because I don't believe that I'm not determinist, but I don't believe that I have like 100% pure free will. Why? Because that contradicts like the fact, because as a being, I am dependent on many other things that are eventually controlled by God, right? That's what theists believe.
I'm not dependent on anything that anyone has ever demonstrated is controlled by a God.
I'm just talking from an theist perspective, not talking from your perspective.
Well, so the thing is, I care about why you have the theistic perspective, not that you do. Of course, you can say that, hey, you could claim we have free will because God gave us free will, or you could claim that we don't have free will because of the nature of God prohibits free will. I don't give a shit. I care about whether or not there's actually a God, and to a little bit, I guess, a little bit whether or not there's free will, but mostly I don't care about that either. I want to know if you've got a belief about something, whether or not it's true.
No problem. So why do you consider yourself compatibilist and not hardcore determinist? Like, why there's this notion of will in your?
Why do you keep phrasing it as compatibilist or hardcore determinist? Determinism is true. Whether it's soft determinism or hard determinism, we don't know. But both of them are potentially in conflict with some models of free will. There are other models of free will, one that Dennett puts forth, which I'm not convinced is in conflict with determinism. But I don't care about that.
No, because from atheist perspective, like you cannot really say.
No, Simo. No. Simo, there is no such thing as atheist's perspective. We don't agree.
Okay, so I think it would be easier to discuss this probably in examples. For example, when you wake up in the morning and you want to choose between, like you have blue pants, red pants, you want to choose between both. Like, are you determined? Like, once you pick up one, were you determined to pick one, or it was you who actually chose which one you could pick?
I don't know. I don't think the answer is known or knowable. Well, I won't say that it's for sure unknowable. I don't know, and I don't know of any way that anybody could say that they do know.
Okay, so
and I don't care, and I genuinely don't care. When I get up in the morning, first of all, I'm probably not putting pants on at all.
Let me ask
to the extent that I'm going to put on pants, to ask why I picked those pants instead of another, does it make any difference? If we reround the universe and played it again, do I think that that's what's going to happen? Yes, I'm convinced of determinism.
Yeah, because the reason why I'm asking this question is because, well, yeah, this example doesn't really make a difference in your life. But if we take it on another scale, like, for example, saying when somebody kills somebody else intentionally versus somebody else who just killed somebody accidentally, like, why the first one would be judged for 25 years and the other one would be judged for 6 months?
Because there's a difference between an intent and accident. There's a reason why when you look at something like the Bible and ancient codexes about laws and morality, they say something simple like thou shalt not kill. But when you look at what the law, like in the United States, has to say about what happens when one person kills another, we recognize that there are a lot of different circumstances there. And some of those, that's why you have murder 1, murder 2, murder 3, involuntary manslaughter, reckless endangerment, negligent homicide, etc. All of these different things, because we realize that all of these are different. But it doesn't matter if the person, let's say there's a person who walked into a place, absolutely hated and despised the person in the room with them, and intentionally shot them in the head, that can all be true, irrespective of whether they have free will or will. It doesn't matter, because if there is no free will, that still happens as a result of determinism. And if there is free will, it still happens as a result of free will. And the difference between someone who walks in and intentionally does that versus someone who accidentally backs their car over someone is night and day and has nothing at all to do with free will. They are still the agent who is responsible for that death. And we assess the consequences of that action and attribute a penalty based on the risks of recidivism, of it happening again. How much of a danger are they to the rest of society? What's the broader impact? Those are the factors. At no point is free will a consideration in the evaluation of this.
That totally makes sense. But the thing is, like in an atheistic society, I would say, or even determinism, let's forget about atheism or atheism or whatever. Let's just use the words determinism, basically. Like from a deterministic perspective, well, this person was determined to make such an action, so they're not really responsible for it. Like you cannot.
Hey, no. That's what I'm saying, Simo. They're still responsible. If my car was defective,
That's meaningless.
no, listen to me. If my car was defective and it caught fire while I was running down the road, it would be correct of me to hold the car responsible and to go get it fixed. It doesn't matter whether somebody had free will to hate someone and kill them, or if they accidentally killed them. They are the agent who's responsible. Free will is irrelevant. They are the agent responsible. And if it's a matter of necessity that we hold that agent responsible, if we get to a point where we can find out that that person killed because of a tumor in their head, if we get to the point where we can identify that removing that tumor makes that person no longer a risk to do that again, then haven't we solved the problem?
Well, I get your point, but the thing is, from a deterministic perspective again, and if you say like the brain is just made a bunch of...
It doesn't matter. Determinism is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you rewind the universe. No, Simo, stop. It doesn't matter if you rewind the universe and play it again forward. The person who killed the other person still did it. It doesn't matter if it was predetermined. That is the agent that is going to be held responsible. What else do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm just going to move to another topic if you don't mind. So, because
no, you're not going to move to another topic. We got 4 minutes left in the show, and there's 3 other callers waiting. So you can ask this question, but we're done.
Okay, so on which basic or on which foundation you're making this judgment from a deterministic perspective, saying that this person is responsible and they've chosen, or whatever they didn't choose, they were deterministic. Like, on which foundation you can say that this person is responsible for killing, like, for example, Hitler killed.
I just explained it to you.
Like
whatever agent, stop. The agent that took the act is the agent that took the act. Is that not true? Did some other agent take the act?
Yeah, they're determined to do it. So
doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. Simo, listen. I don't give a fuck if they were predetermined to do it. They're still the one who did it, right?
You don't really answer my question, Matt. I'm sorry. Like on
Simo, you're not listening and you're not answering my question. I just asked you for the 3rd time. They are still the person who killed the other person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a person in this fictional scenario that was predetermined to kill another person. What are you going to do about it? You are now in charge, and this person, let's say me, let's say you are in charge and I intentionally killed somebody else. Does it matter at all whether it was an issue of free will? What are you going to do?
Well, again, from a deterministic perspective.
No, Simo, you're done.
Yes, again.
No, you're done. You're not going to lecture me about from a deterministic perspective. I asked what you would do in that scenario, and you are unwilling to consider this because it goes against what you want. If one person kills another, it doesn't matter whether they did it because of a tumor, because the universe predetermined it, or because of free will. That person still killed another person, and the rest of us around here are going to have to make a decision about what to do about that. And right now, given the current resolution, the current scope of what we can determine about human interaction, we hold people responsible at the agent level. Maybe in the future that will change to hold them responsible at the tumor level, or at the brain misfunction level, or at the chemical adjustment level. But right now it's at the person level. And it doesn't make a difference whether they hated them, whether it was an act of free will, or whether the universe decided this a long time ago in a causal chain that began with the Big Bang. That is still the person responsible, and we have no other option but to hold them responsible. That's the way it works. That's what justice is.